Let's look at the solution to the 2021 JAMB Mathematics exam question 1 to 10. Question 1 here says, find in bracket 1 all over 0.06 plus 1 all over 0.0042, close the bracket to power minus 1. Correct to 2 decimal places. Option A, 3.14. Option B, 4.42. Option C, 1.53. Option D, 0.025. All right, so how do we solve this question? Now let's see what we have here. Here we have 1 all over 0.06. This plus 1 all over 0.042. 0.042. This to power minus 1. This one here raised to power minus 1. So how do we solve this question? The first thing you want to note is that 0.06 is the same as me saying 6 all over 100. That's 0.06. And when you say 1 all over 0.06, what you're saying is simply 1 all over 6 all over 100. And we know that in mathematics, if I take the inverse of a fraction, denominator goes up and numerator goes down. So it becomes 100 all over 6. In essence, 1 all over 0.06 is the same thing as saying 100 over 6. So that's the first thing you want to note. So what I have here is 100 over 6. So this one here gives you 100 all over 6 plus, so I'm bringing down this plus. Next up, you have 1 all over 0.042. Now again, note that 0.042 is the same thing as saying 42 all over 1000. So if I say 1 over this, 1 over 0.042, that's simply 1 all over 42 over 1000. And as we said earlier, if I take the inverse of the fraction, denominator goes up and numerator comes down. So it becomes 1000 all over 42. Okay, so I'll write that one out. That means this one here is 1000. So 1000 all over 42. I have this. Of course, this all raised to power minus 1. So here's the first thing you want to note. Now, the next thing you want to note is that we'll look at the LCM. All right. If you look at 6 and 42, the LCM there becomes 42, obviously. LCM of 6 and 42 is 42. So let's solve this. Let's solve this. All right, first things first, 42 divided by 6. All right. If you do 42 divided by 6, what you have there is 7. Now use 7 to multiply numerator, which is this one here. So 7 times 100 gives you 700. Bring down the plus there, so the plus sign. Next up, 42 divided by 42 gives you 1. 1 times numerator, that's 1000. 1 times 1000 gives you 1000. So you have this. All to power minus 1. So you have this. All right, proceeding with this. If I add up numerator, 700 plus 1000 gives you 1700 divided by 42. This to power minus 1. All right. And this is equal to, of course, to eliminate the minus here, I'll take an inverse. So it becomes inverse 1 all over what I have in the bracket. That's 1 all over 1700 all over 42. You have this. All right. So basically, you have this. All right. So to eliminate this negative here, minus 1, just take inverse. So you have this. And again, just as we've said previously, if you have the inverse of a fraction, denominator goes up and numerator comes down. So that's equal to 42 all over 1700. All right. So at this point, I'll get my calculator and I'll punch this value and see what I get. So if I punch 42 divided by 1700, this gives you 0.0247, which is approximately 0.025. That's your answer. All right, so let's see. Do we have 0.025 there? Yep, that's option D, 0.025. So that's your answer. Now you want to know that what you have here is not actually two decimal places. This is actually three decimal places, because after the decimal point, what you have your first number 0, your second number 2, and your third number 3. So this shouldn't be two decimal places. This should probably be two significant figures. So two significant figures. If I were to express this in two decimal places, this would be 0.0. Then this is my first decimal place. My second decimal place is 2. 5 gives you a plus 1. So 2 plus 1 gives you 3. So I have 0.03. So assuming I had this particular option, 0.03, if I have this answer in the options, I would have gone for 0.03. That's a proper two decimal place. All right, so let's look at the next one there. Question number 2. Question 2 says, in a right angle triangle, if tan theta is equal to 3 over 4, what is cos theta minus sin theta? So let's solve question 2. Of course, mentioning tan means it's a right angle triangle, because the concept of tan, cos, and sine is only used for right angle triangle. So let's have a right angle triangle here. Let's call here theta. All right. They said tan theta is equal to 3 over 4. So tan of theta is equal to 3 over 4. Now we know that tan is equal to, when we say tan is equal to opposite all over adjacent. So it means for this angle here, the opposite, which is this, should be what there? This value, 3. That's the opposite. Okay, so let me write down. Opposite is 3. Then the adjacent, which is 4, all right? For this particular right angle triangle, of course, my adjacent will be here. That's 4. Now let's find the value of the hypotenuse, which is, let's call it x. We know that we can get x using Pythagoras theorem as x squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared. So I'll have x squared is equal to 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. So x will be equal to the square root of 25, and x will be equal to what there? 5. So that means the hypotenuse is 5. We've gotten this. We're asked to find the value of cos theta minus sin theta. Let's guess cos theta. Cos theta is equal to, now if you remember the SOHCAHTOA, from SOHCAHTOA, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. This is opposite. This is adjacent. This is HYP, hypotenuse. So if you say adjacent, the value there is 4, becomes 4 all over h, hypotenuse, whose value is 5. So 4 over 5, that's cos theta. Sin theta is equal to, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 3, hypotenuse is 5. So it becomes 3 over 5. So it becomes 3 over 5. So if we now say cos theta minus sin theta, that's simply equal to, cos theta is 4 over 5. So 4 over 5 minus sin theta, 3 over 5. What's your answer here? This is equal to, we have 5 and 5. Same denominator, so it becomes 5. Take the numerators, 4 minus 3. So I have 4 minus 3. That's equal to 1 all over 5. So the correct answer there is 1 over 5. Let's see which option that is. All right, that's option A, 1 over 5. So that's your correct answer. Okay, next up, question number 3. Question 3 says, find the equation of the locus of a point P with coordinate xy, which is equidistant from Q, coordinate 0, 0, and R, coordinate 2, 1. All right, so how do you solve this question? What do you do? So how do we solve this question? For question 3, you want to note that the locus of the point P is a perpendicular bisector of QR. That means that PQ should be equal to PR. That's distance between PQ should be equal to distance between PR. And how do we find that? We'll take the coordinate of P, which we have here as X and Y. We'll subtract it from that of Q. Of course, each of them being squared, we also equate it to PR. Now, how do I mean? For P, we'll take the value of Y for P. The value of Y for P is Y, as you can see here. So it becomes Y minus the value of Y for Q. For Q here, consider the value of Y is 0. So it becomes minus 0. This, and then you square it. Add it to, do the same thing for X. For P, the value of X here is X, you can see here. Meanwhile, for Q, the value of X, as you can see here, is 0. So it becomes X minus 0. So plus X minus 0 all squared. So this is for PQ. Now let's do the same thing for PR. For PR, of course, we repeat the same process. For P, the value of Y there is actually Y. That becomes Y minus, for R, which is this, what's the value of Y? For R, Y is 1. You can see here 1. So it becomes Y minus 1. Again, square this plus get the X value of P. For P, the X value is what there? X. So it becomes X minus, let's get the X value of R, which is this one here, 2. So we have this minus 2. So we have this value here, of course, squared. Now we have to solve this question. How do we solve this? For this, we know that Y minus 0 is Y. So anything minus 0 is itself. Don't stress. This Y squared plus X minus 0. Anything minus 0 is itself. So it becomes X with the square there. So X squared is equal to, let's expand this. If you have Y minus 1 all squared, what will be your answer? What it simply means is Y minus 1 multiplying Y minus 1. That's Y squared. Take Y here. Y times Y gives you Y squared. Y times minus 1 gives you minus Y. Minus 1 times Y gives you minus Y. Minus 1 times minus 1 gives you plus 1. This gives you Y squared minus Y is simple as saying minus 1, and that's minus 2. Add your Y, then plus 1. So if I expand this, you have Y squared minus 2Y plus 1. That gives you Y squared minus 2Y plus 1. That's for the first one. Plus, let's do for the X. If you have X minus 2 squared, what do you have there? It becomes X minus 2 multiplying X minus 2. That becomes X times X. That's X squared. X times minus 2 minus 2X minus 2 times X minus 2X minus 2 times minus 2 plus 4. And that gives you X squared minus 2X minus 2X. So if you work with the numbers there, minus 2 is minus 4. Attach the X, then plus 4. So X squared minus 4X plus 4. So X squared minus 4X plus 4. So we have this. All right, to learn more about how to expand this, you can check our class on binomial expansion. I've done a full video on how this can be done using 3 different methods. So go to the mathematics playlist. All right, go to playlist, go to mathematics, then look for binomial expansion. You'll see this. All right, proceeding with this, this becomes Y squared plus X squared is equal to, take off bracket, you have Y squared minus 2Y plus 1 plus, take off bracket for X, you have X squared minus 4X plus 4. You have this. Okay, so what next? The next thing we want to do here is to move all the terms having X and Y to the left hand side. So this becomes Y squared plus X squared. Move this over, it becomes minus Y squared. It was plus. Move this over, it becomes plus 2Y. It was negative. Also move X squared over, it becomes minus X squared. Move minus 4X over, it becomes plus 4X. All right, so that's all the terms with X and Y. You're left with plus 1 plus 4. So equal to 1 or plus 1 and then plus 4. All right, so move all the terms with X and Y to the left hand side. You're having this. From here, Y squared minus Y squared cancels. X squared minus X squared cancels. You're left with what there? 2Y. This is 2Y plus 4X is equal to 4 plus 1 is 5. So let's see if you have any option as 2y plus 4x is equal to 5. Or let's take x first. If I put the x first, it becomes 4x and then y next plus 2y is equal to 5. Let's see if you have 4x plus 2y equal to 5. That's option C. That's the correct answer. 4x plus 2y equal to 5. So that's the correct answer. Okay, question number 4. 4 says if q is a factor of 18 and t is a prime number between 2 and 18, what is q intersection t? Option A, 2, 3. Option B, 2, 3, 18. Option C, 2, 3, 9. Option D, 2, 3, 6. So how do we solve this question here? Let's get option Q. For Q, this question 4. Now, Q, let's get the elements in Q. For Q, this is under set. They said factors of 18. The factors of 18 include 2, because 2 can divide 18 to give you a whole number. So when they say factors of 18, we're talking about those numbers that can divide 18 and you have a whole number. The first one there is 2. 18 over 2 gives you 9. The second one there is 3. 18 over 3 gives you 6. Then no, 4 is not there. 5 is not there. 6. 18 over 6 gives you 3. Then you have, there's no 7, there is no 8, there is 9, right? 18 over 9 gives you 2. Then 10 is not there, 11, 12, 13. Next thing you have is 18, all right? You have 18 there. So we want to put 1 as a factor, all right? In fact, some want to put 1, but you don't really put 1 because 1 can literally divide anything. You don't really consider 1. So that's for the factors of Q. Let's get the factors of T, or the elements of T. So T will be equal to, so these are the elements in set Q. Let's get the elements in set T. For T, they said T is a prime number between 2 and 18. Prime numbers are those numbers that can be divided by just themselves and 1 without a remainder. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 4 is not a prime number because 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. 5 is a prime number, 6 is not a prime number, 6 over 2 gives you 3. 7 is a prime number, 8 is not a prime number, 8 over 2 gives you 4. 9 is not a prime number, 9 over 3 gives you 3. 10 is not a prime number, 10 over 2 gives you 5. 11 is a prime number, so 11 is there. 12 is not a prime number, 13 is a prime number, 14 is not a prime number, 15 is not a prime number because 15 over 3 gives you 5. 16 is not a prime number, 16 over 2 gives you 8. 17 is a prime number, then 18. What about 18? 18 is not a prime number because 18 over 2 gives you 9. So you have this. If you ask for Q intersection T, what this simply means is find the elements that you have in both Q and T. In Q, I have 2 and 3. In T, I have 2 and 3. I think those are only the numbers they have in common. So your answer here is 2, 3. So let's see, do we have any option there as 2, 3? Yep, that's option A, 2, 3. That's the correct answer. Okay, next up, question 5. 5 says, in a right angle triangle, if tan theta equal to 3 over 4, what is cos theta minus sin theta? I think this question was repeated. Let's see. Yep, yeah, it was repeated. Okay, so in this year, they repeated this question. Meanwhile, the answer was A, 1 over 5. So I'll just pick up the number. In this option, I see 1 over 5. So we don't have to stress because, as you can see, the question was just repeated. Cos theta minus sin theta. So don't stress, it was repeated. All right. Next up, question 6. 6 says, from the figure above, that's this figure here, PQ is parallel to RS, okay? And the angle PTR is equal to 37 degrees. What is the value of X? So you have this. A, 127 degrees. B, 90 degrees. C, 53 degrees. D, 37 degrees. So how do you solve this question? So looking at this figure here, we can see that if we have 37 here, this angle here is an alternate to it, so it becomes 37 degrees. All right. Also, you're given this sign here, which symbolizes 90 degrees. So that means to get the value of x, we know that sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So it becomes this angle here 90 plus this 37 plus this x should be equal to 180. Again, that's because sum of angles in a triangle it's equal to 180 degrees. So I have 90 plus 37 plus x, it's equal to 180 degrees. All right, we could put that degrees there. So first things first, you have 90 plus 37. And if you add that, you have your answer as 127. So 127 degrees plus x is equal to 180 degrees. To get the value of x, we'll be having 180 degrees minus 127, so minus 127 degrees. So x is equal to 180 minus 127. That gives you 53 degrees. So my answer there is C, 53 degrees. That's your answer. All right. Question 7. Question 7 says simplify. Let's take this down. 1.25 times 10 to the power 4. 7. 1.25 times 10 to the power 4, you have this into 2 times 10 to the power 4, so this into 2 times 10 to the power 4, this all over, so divided by 6.25 times 10 to the power 5, so all over 6.25 times 10 to the power 5, right? So how do you solve this? So all we have to do is here is take the numbers 1.25 times this 2. So 1.25 times 2, if you do that correctly, your answer will be 2.5. So 2.5 times, also multiply this and this. That becomes 10. When you multiply same base, what do? You add the parts. So it becomes 4 plus 4. Right, the part here is 4 and then 4. They're both 10 raised to power 4 and raised to power 4. So you add the parts. 4 plus 4 gives you 8 all over what I have here, 6.25 times 10 to the power 5. Now what do you do here? This will be equal to, I'll divide this and this. That's 2.5 divided by 6.25. That's about 0.4. So I have 0.4. Again, I have 10 and 10 here. So it becomes times 10. In this case, they are dividing. So this divided by this. 10 to the power 8 divided by 10 to the power 5. And when they divide, what do? You subtract their powers. So 8 minus 5, that gives you 3. So this is equal to 0.4 times 10 to the power 3. That's about 400. All right, let's express 400 in index form. That becomes 4 times 10 to the power 2. Of course, 10 to the power 2 gives you 100. So the answer there is 4 times 10 to the power 2. Let's see which option that is. 4.0 times 10 to the power 2. That's option A. That is your correct answer. Next up, question 8. Question 8 says, determine the maximum value of y equal to 3x squared minus x cubed. A 0, B 2, C 4, D 5. This question is under the application of differentiation. Let's take the question down. Question number 8, we are given that y is equal to 3x squared minus x cubed. 3x squared minus x cubed. So how do we solve these questions? First things first, let's get the value of dy dx. By dy dx, we mean we have to differentiate this. Differentiating this, we have that dy dx is equal to, if I differentiate 3x squared, that gives you 6x minus, if I differentiate x cubed, that gives you 3x squared. Please, if you don't understand what I did here, do well to check our previous class on differentiation. Right, I have a full playlist on differentiation, so go to playlist, then look for differentiation. All right, you see a step-by-step explanation as to how I got this. All right, okay, so from this is your first step. Your next step is to equate dy dx. So equate dy dx to 0. To 0. You'll be having 6x minus 3x squared is equal to 0. And how do we solve this? Let's factorize. 6x, 3x squared. The factor there is 3x. All right. 6x divided by 3x, that gives you 2. So you have 2 minus 3x squared divided by 3x. You have your value as what? X. So I have x. 2 minus x is equal to 0. At this point, you take the one out there, 3x is equal to 0, or take the one inside here, 2 minus x is equal to 0. Proceeding from here, to get the value of x here, divide by 3, divide by 3. This cancels this. So x is equal to 0 over 3 is 0. So x is 0. Or here you have 2 minus x equal to 0. Move minus x over here. You have 2 is equal to plus x. Or x is equal to what there? 2. The value of x here is 0 or 2. Coming back to the question, they said, question 8 said, determine the maximum value. So for these two values, one of them is a maximum and one of them is a minimum. And how do you find that? You use a condition, right? We use a condition for the application of differentiation. Now you want to note that for maximum value, all right, we have to find the maximum value. For maximum value, the condition there is the squared y over the x squared should be less than 0. That means should be a negative term. And for us to get this work done, we have to find the value of the squared y over the x squared. To get the value of the squared y over the x squared, we have to differentiate the value of the y dx. So let's differentiate the y dx. We are given the y dx from your question there. We've solved this to be 6x minus, so that's 6x minus 3x squared. From here, we can get that the squared y over the x squared, which means differentiating this, all right, that will be equal to, differentiate 6x, you have 6, the sign is minus, differentiate 3x squared, you have 6x, so it becomes 6 minus 6x. Again, if you don't know how we got this, please go and check our playlist on differentiation, all right? Check the very first video, that's differentiation from general method, and you see how we got this. So we've now gotten an equation for the squared y over the x squared. We're given 2 points at x equal to 0 and at x equal to 2. These 2 points we got here, let me show you, this one here. So we'll try the first one. Let's see at 0. If I put x at 0, what do you have there? You have that the squared y over the x squared will be equal to 6 minus 6 times x. X is 0. That becomes 0. This gives you 6 minus 6 times 0 is 0. And that gives you 6. What do you observe here? Observe that we said for maximum value, the squared y over the x squared should be less than 0. But if you have your value as 6, 6 is greater than 0. That means this is not the maximum. Let's confirm that 2 is the maximum. How we do that is very simple. Put x at 2. So put x as equal to 2. We'll have that the squared root over the x squared is equal to 6 minus 6x. That becomes 6 times, the value of x now is 2. And that's equal to 6 minus 6 times 2 is 12. 6 minus 12 is minus 6. Minus 6 is negative. That means it's less than 0. So hence, that's the maximum value. That means the maximum value is at x equal to 2. Let's see, do we have the option there? Oh, yes, we do. That's option B, 2. This is your correct answer. All right, next up, question 9. Question 9 says, from the diagram that's here, find the value of angle OTQ. A, 230 degrees. B, 55 degrees. C, 115 degrees. D, 65 degrees. All right, from this diagram here, how do you find the angle? Now, this question here has to do with geometry, all right, geometry of or circle geometry. Now, for cases like this, we are asked to find the angle OTQ. Simply, that means the angle attached to T, which is this angle here. All right, let's call this X. So this is OTQ. Basically, what you're supposed to find is the angle attached to the mid one there, which is T. All right. Okay. All right, so we have to find this. Let's call this x. Now, looking at this particular figure here, you can see that the angle we are asked to find, that's angle OTQ, is an inscribed angle, right? And it subtends the arc OQ, right? So it subtends this arc OQ. And we know that from the concept of circle geometry that an inscribed angle, right, is equal to half the measure of the arc it intercepts. So we are saying that x will be equal to half of this other angle here, which is 130 degrees. So 1 over 2 times 130 degrees. And if you do this, half of 130 is about 65 degrees. All right, so the answer there is D, 65 degrees. That's your answer. All right, lastly, let's look at question 10. Question 10 says, given that u is equal to x, such that x are all positive integers from 1 to 20, p is equal to x, such that x are all factors of q, and r is equal to x, such that x are all even numbers, then r intersection p is, so let's find the intersection. Now to do that, first of all, I have to find the element in u, the universal set. So u, we said, is equal to all positive numbers from 1 to 20. So from 1 to 20, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. So these are all positive numbers from 1 to 20. Next, we said p is equal to x, and x are all the factors of 18. So p will be equal to, what are the factors of 18? So for the factors of 18, we have 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. These are the factors of 18. All right, these are the numbers that can divide 18 without a remainder. Next up, let's go for R. What are the elements in R? How do you define R? You said R are all even numbers, right? All even numbers. So we're taking from 2. So even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 14, 16, and then 18. Of course, they said 20, so we'll add 20 because we don't exceed the universal set. It stops at 20, so we'll stop at 22. All right, so we have 20. The question here said we should find what's there. R intersection P. So R intersection P is equal to, what elements does R and P have? So R has 2, this has 2. R has 6, this has 6. So I'll take 2, I'll take 6. R has what again? 18 and then 18. I think that's all. So 18. So I think the elements there are 2, 6, and 18. Let's see. Do we have 2, 6, and 18? Yep. That's option C. And that's the correct answer. All right. So as usual, I'll leave question 11 for you. Question 11 says, find the value of k if y minus 1 is a factor of y squared plus 4y squared plus ky minus 6. A, 0, B, 4, C, minus 6, and D is 1. This is under the concept of polynomials, all right? So do you know the answer to this question? Try to solve this question. Leave your answer in the comment section and I'll tell you if you're correct or not. Okay? Okay, guys. So please take note that we have a JAMB WhatsApp group for 2026 JAMB Bites. All right? So if you're writing JAMB for 2026, we have a JAMB WhatsApp group where we do daily revisions on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. So if you're a science student and you want to join our JAMB WhatsApp group, I'll leave a link to the JAMB WhatsApp group in the video description. All right. You can also join our JAMB channel membership to get access to exclusive content for JAMB Bites, or you can get the full JAMB course on our website. simply visit www.jonahemmanuel.com/courses and you see the JAMB/WAEC classes. All right. Okay, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. All right. Like this video. Also leave a comment. Right. For the comment, I gave you a task, question number 11. Solve it. Leave your answer in the comment section, and I'll tell you if you're correct or not. Don't forget to also subscribe. If it's your first time here or you're yet to subscribe, please do what to subscribe, hit the bell icon and select all so that you get notified whenever we upload a new content. Then finally, ensure to share this video to your friends and their colleagues so that they can also learn. Thank you and see you in our next class.